Okay, I am filming an unboxing of this QOR card. This isn't the only kind of package it comes in, just some kind of hard envelope. And then there's a little note here just saying that they don't dry necessarily, like they can be a little sticky, and it's not because they're not dry, it's just because they're the formula that they use. So this is just saying that it will help to keep a sheet of wax paper in between them when you store them, and that's also how I've packaged them to be shipped. And then here's what you get, which is all of the QOR range. And it's on 100% cotton paper, watercolor paper. And so I just thought I would do a little video today swatching these out for anyone who maybe doesn't want to buy the card and just wants to see the colors, or who's considering buying the card and wants to see the colors. So I'm just going to swatch them out. I've swatched out all of the main colors so we can see how the colors behave, how they look in a swatch, and sort of get a feel for the texture of them. Here are some close-ups of the dry swatches from the first page. The range has some gorgeous colors in them. A lot of the, standard pigments, but they also have some pretty cool mixes in here that I appreciate. And then the next part of the card, the way that I designed it anyway, is to fill out this section over here separately. And the reason I did that is because I personally think that transparency is a very important quality, knowing if the watercolor is transparent or not, because I use them with pen. So I wanted a very clear area for that transparency test. So that's the intention here. And then I'm just going to go through and use this small mark here to do a separate transparency line here. And then once I do that, I'm going to use that colored area to also do a lifting test at the end. So we'll have two more passes through this card. So I'm just picking up quite a bit of that paint and checking the transparency here on this line. And I'm filling that entire section, so later I can come back here in this small box and do the lifting test. And the card does have the website information as it's listed on the QOR watercolor and pigment information. So each one has the pigments that are included in that watercolor, and as well as this transparency designations. So this one here, the first, is whether it's transparent or not, and I do have all of what those abbreviations mean printed on the second page of the card. The second letter is the staining or non-staining properties, and those are also listed down here at on the second card. Granulation, if it is a granulating color, according to their website, I just put a little gran abbreviation inside that little box, just so that all the information that's available from the QOR website is also available right on the card, and you don't have to look anything up separately. And then you'll also have, all your individual tests here all in one place. Okay, so there's the first page. The best thing about these dot cards is, you have them in person in front of you, and you can really see exactly how transparent they are or are not. I've finished doing all of these transparency tests, and it's the next day for me, so all of these are completely dry. And I'm going to show both cards up close because now all of the color swatches and the transparency tests are completely finished and completely dry. So for those of you who just want to see them swatched on video, here you go. These are the complete swatches. And for anyone who wants to buy their own card, I did make these and make them available on Etsy, and I'm going to share the link below in the description. And then today we're going to do the last little test, which is the lifting test. And for this, you'll definitely need some paper towels, and it's super simple. All you're doing is you're gonna go in here on this little box and use some water to see if you can lift up the paint. And so this one is definitely going to be liftable. It's a very light color, so it's kind of hard to see, but essentially when I'm doing this, I just give it a little scrub and then blot it with the paper towel so that I can see how well it comes up when I'm trying to remove the paint. And these yellows are all pretty light in value, so it's not an amazing impact. But if we do something like I don't think quinacridone magenta is super lifting anyways, but it does have, yeah, it did pretty good. And we'll do this one. Okay, so there we go. That's essentially how I'm using the cards and how I designed them to be used. Obviously, you can do it however you want. I also did add quite a bit of paint on here so that you can make your own swatch cards. I do have my own book of swatches. So I use a binder like this. I just got this on Amazon, so if anybody else wants to get one, they, you know, it's just a card binder. Usually people use these for, this is not my watercolor one. Usually people use these for cards, either, you know, trading cards or like Magic the Gathering cards or something, but I use them for watercolor swatches. So once I finished my dot card, I also made these on my favorite paper, which is Fabriano Watercolor Hot Press, and made larger swatches of the colors that I like to keep in my palette so that I can pair them with other types of other brands in the same pigments, or also, you know, just flip through this book and see what's available when I'm trying to fill my palette. So a lot of the core colors, I tend to focus primarily on the transparent ones, so that's mostly what I do have in here. But yeah, there's plenty of paint on the card so that you can make your own swatch cards or even use them to do a little painting to test them a little bit further. And that's how I wanted it to be. So there we go. And I'm going to finish all of these off camera, but I will post the final version of both of these on the Etsy posting if you want to check it out. And I will just go ahead and make like a little few second shot of this in case anybody wants to pause it and look more closely at the information that's on here. And then that's it for this video. Thank you all for watching and have a great, happy watercolor day.